They said the billionaire left nothing, got no tip, not even $1. The single mom waitress stood frozen at the table, staring at the empty receipt, her chest tight with disappointment. Rent was due. Her daughter needed new shoes. And tonight, kindness felt like a luxury she couldn't afford. But what she found under his plate, just seconds later, would change her life in ways she never imagined. Before we begin the story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps stories like this reach more people who believe kindness still matters. Welcome to Love and Kindness Stories, where real emotions and real humanity come together. Maria Thompson had learned how to smile through exhaustion. At 32, she was a single mother working double shifts at a small family diner just outside Columbus, Ohio. The place wasn't fancy. Vinyl booths, chipped mugs, and a bell over the door that rang every time someone walked in. But it was honest work, and it paid just enough to keep the lights on in her tiny apartment. Most mornings, Maria woke up before the sun. She packed her 6-year-old daughter, Lily's lunch, braided her hair, and dropped her off at school before heading straight to the diner. Some days were better than others. Some days, the tips were decent. Other days, she counted quarters at the kitchen table, wondering how she'd stretch them into dinner. That Thursday night had been especially rough. The diner was understaffed. A cook had called in sick. A family complained about cold fries. Another customer snapped at her for refilling coffee too slowly. By 9 p.m., Maria's feet ached, her back burned, and her smile felt heavy. That's when he walked in. He didn't look flashy. No designer suit, no bodyguards. Just a tall man in his late 50s, wearing a plain navy jacket and worn leather shoes. He sat alone in a corner booth and quietly scanned the menu. Maria grabbed a glass of water and approached him. "Evening, sir. What can I get you?" He looked up and smiled politely. "Just coffee to start, and whatever you recommend." She brought him a hot cup and suggested the meatloaf special. He nodded. "That sounds perfect." Throughout the meal, he was calm and kind. He didn't rush her. He thanked her every time she refilled his coffee. When another customer raised their voice across the room, he glanced at Maria with sympathy, as if he understood how hard her job could be. Still, something about him made Maria nervous. Maybe it was the way he quietly observed everything, or how he folded his napkin neatly when he finished eating. Experience had taught her that quiet customers sometimes tip the worst. When he asked for the check, Maria printed the receipt and placed it on the table with her usual hopeful smile. "Take your time," she said. She walked away, wiping the counter, trying not to watch. A few minutes later, the man stood up, placed the receipt under his plate, and headed for the door. He paused, turned back, and gave her a small nod. "Thank you for the service." He said, "You're welcome," Maria replied, forcing warmth into her voice. The bell rang as he left. Maria waited a few seconds before walking over. Her stomach tightened as she lifted the receipt. $0, no tip. For a moment, she just stood there. Tears burned behind her eyes, but she swallowed them back. She felt foolish for hoping. She felt angry at herself for needing that money so badly. 20% of that bill could have covered Lily's school lunch. For the week, she reached for the plate to clear the table. And that's when she noticed something folded. Underneath, a plain white envelope, her name was written on it in neat handwriting. Maria, her hand shook as she opened. Inside was a handwritten note and a folded piece of paper. She unfolded the paper first. It was a check for $10,000. Her breath caught. The room seemed to tilt. She looked around, half expecting someone to tell her it was a mistake. Her eyes dropped back to the note. It read, "Maria, I watched you tonight. I saw how you treated every customer with patience and kindness, even when they didn't deserve it. I saw how tired you were, and yet you never let it harden your heart. Money given openly can be forgotten. Money given with intention can change a life. This isn't a tip. It's a thank you. Pay it forward when you can." Signed, Daniel Whitmore. Maria sank into the booth. She had heard that name before. Daniel Whitmore was a billionaire investor. His face had been on magazine covers. He owned companies she'd never afford to shop at, and tonight, he had eaten meatloaf in her diner and left her a gift that felt unreal. Her manager rushed over when he saw her sitting down. "Maria, are you okay?" She handed him the note with trembling hands. His eyes widened. "Oh my God." News spread fast. Within days, the story hit local news. Then national outlets picked it up. "Billionaire leaves no tip." Then, this happens. People argued online. Some praised him. Others questioned his motives. But Maria didn't care about the noise. She used the money carefully. First, she paid overdue rent. Then she replaced her broken car tires. She bought Lily the pink sneakers she'd been pointing at for months, but never asked for. She also did something unexpected. Maria cut her work hours slightly and enrolled in night classes for nursing. A dream she had buried years ago suddenly felt possible again. But the biggest change wasn't financial, it was emotional. For the first time in years, Maria felt seen. Months later, Maria received another letter. This one had no check, just a simple message. "I heard you started school. I knew you would do something good with the opportunity. Keep going." She smiled through tears. Years passed. Maria became a registered nurse. She worked at a community hospital, often staying late to comfort patients who had no family nearby. She volunteered at food banks. She tipped generously whenever she ate out, sometimes leaving notes of encouragement behind. One rainy afternoon, she spotted an older man sitting alone in the hospital waiting room. His shoulders were slumped. His eyes looked tired. She brought him a cup of coffee. "Long day?" she asked gently. He smiled. "You have no idea." She didn't recognize him at first, but when he looked up, she saw it. The same quiet kindness. "Daniel," she whispered. He laughed softly. "I was hoping it was you." They talked for a while, about life, about how small moments echo longer than we think. As he stood to leave, Maria stopped him. "You changed my life," she said. He shook his head. "No, you changed your own life. I just noticed." And in that moment, Maria understood something simple and powerful. Kindness isn't always loud. Sometimes, it's hidden under a plate. Sometimes, it looks like nothing until it becomes everything. If this story touched your heart, let it remind you that even when kindness feels unseen, it matters. You never know who's watching. You never know how far one small act can reach. Carry kindness with you, and when you can, pass it on. The world needs it now more than ever.